So Valiant Comics is in a bit of trouble. Now they've had to shut down their New York City headquarters. Financially, they have not been doing too well, and then again, they've been hiring some pretty terrible people. So, yet again, it's more of the downfall of the comic book industry. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have it better tomorrow. So, Valiant Comics, they've been doing pretty bad financially. They've hired some pretty terrible people. I mean, one in particular that I can think of that we're going to talk about in a bit. But, now they're getting to the point where they're having to shut down their own headquarters. Report Valiant Comics shutters New York City headquarters. Now, this is from Bounding into Comics. And, a lot of this is due to financial issues typically. Whenever they have to shut down these headquarters, that's usually the reason why this happens, because they can't keep it up because they're not making the money to be able to do so. Valiant Comics has reported shuttered its New York City headquarters. A new report from Comic Watch claims Valiant Entertainment, home to such properties as XO Manowar, Harbinger, and recently Hollywood breakout Bloodshot, closed the doors on its New York City headquarters location recently. Now, Valiant was really hoping that the movie Bloodshot would go over well, the new Vin Diesel movie. Yeah, they thought that was going to go over well. Yeah, no, it did not do so well for them, and that didn't result the way they hoped it would. Valiant Comics responded to the report, telling Comic Watch all Valiant employees have been operating remotely since March. Nothing is more important than making sure Valiant's employees are safe during this pandemic. So they will continue to work from home for the foreseeable future, and business will continue to operate at 100%. It's kind of the thing about the modern day. Anyone can really work from anywhere at this point. People can work at home now. And so, these big offices in New York, which they cost a lot of money to keep up, it's very expensive. Yeah, when you're not making as much money and it's kind of tanking, and then you have all these issues that have been going on, people can work at home. There's not much need for an office, if you know what I mean. But to have to close it down sounds more like that's a financial issue, but we'll get into that in a second. Flying Sparks creator John Delarose discussed Valiant's decision to shut down their New York City headquarters, stating, when you close your headquarters office and you actually do shut down things like that, it is a sign that you are in cost-cutting measures and you are actually having some issues and you are trying to mitigate them. That is what is going on here. See, that's the thing, they've been having issues financially, which we'll talk about that in a moment. We'll get to that. But that's a big thing. Whenever you're having these issues, whenever stuff like this is going on, and you're not able to keep that up when you've had it for years, something's not really looking too well. Especially whenever the records state you're financially going over badly. Kind of telling. Delarose added, I've kind of given an analysis over the last couple of years where Valiant has really tanked in sales. What happened originally is that Valiant sold to this company called DMG, and the people who were in charge of really making Valiant great for 2012 up to that point, a guy named Dinesh, and chief editor Warren Simmons. They were let go. He continued, and they were really the people who were really driving things creatively and bringing in great creators, like Matt Kindett and Thomas Giarello. All these wonderful writers and artists who you no longer see working for Valiant Comics. And see, that's kind of the thing, is that, also, they've hired some pretty terrible people like Heather Antos, who is basically nothing more than, hey, look, my political agenda, and tries to shove it down everyone's throats and attacks fans, which, who wants that? Nobody. Nobody wants that. It's ridiculous. In fact, Delarose showed just how far Valiant had fallen earlier this year, where he detailed that their average sales between 2018 and 2020 had fallen 48%. I mean, 48%, almost 50% down. That is terrible. I mean, that goes to show you that people are not as interested as they used to be in their comics. When they have pretty good names, like, for example, Turok. Turok, everybody knows Turok, or at least most people do. At the time, Delarose claimed that the decreases were the result of Valiant's editorial team. I don't doubt it. He wrote in March, you look at their editorial across the board, and it's people who are promoting political ideology over great content that the fans want, which is what happens when the core business gets replaced with a company that cares more about holding onto movie IPs than they do producing an excellent comic line. Yeah, and then they push their politics. And then they ruin the characters. I mean, we've seen this time and time again with DC and Marvel, for example. The higher-ups don't understand comics and aren't interested, so they bring in names like Antos. Oh, God, I hate Heather Antos. To direct without really checking on what made the books great in the first place, he added. And that's the thing. What do they do when this happens? All right, rather than making good, creative stories to add to the character or to make things interesting, escapism, right? No, they got to bring in real world politics. They got to make it about their agendas and what they can push. It's absolutely disgusting. But they also hire these talentless hacks that are not creative at all whatsoever, that just push their politics. And then what do? They also attack fans, which, of course, what does that do? Makes the fans want to leave. Because nobody cares to hear about their politics. Nobody's there to listen to any of that crap. Nobody wants to be attacked. I mean, there's no reason to treat your fans who have supported you for so long, there's no reason to treat them like crap. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's horrible. You should never treat your fans terribly. You should always respect them. So this is what one person said. What thing has the worst fans? And then Heather Antos comes in and states, America. Heather Antos is the very same person who's gone after Comicsgate multiple times. She's tried to ruin people's lives. She is just, there's so many things that can go on about this woman that I cannot stand her. I absolutely cannot stand this woman. Heather Antos is just, she's a horrible, vile person. You're currently in second place behind my friend who said Jesus Christ for best answer. The replies to you are real bad, though. And then Heather Antos responds with, what can I say? The worst fans. You see, Heather Antos, this is a stupid person who falls asleep at her job, by the way. Yeah, she falls asleep while she's there. Somehow hasn't gotten fired for that. And, she doesn't even try to make anything interesting, and she just spews her politics and attacks fans all the time. That's what she does. She's a disgusting person. Not only does Antos seem more concerned about her own political ideology rather than Valiant Comics and comic books in general, but since she joined Valiant Comics, the sales across the board tanked. They tanked because of Heather Antos. I mean, why wouldn't they? When you have a vile woman that's all about her politics trying to push that onto people as well as attacking fans. I mean, seriously, Heather Antos is a horrible person. She's attacked Comicsgate so many times. She's tried to ruin people's lives. She is a horrible human being. Cannot stand her. Do not like her. As Bounding Into Comics reported back in March, Antos joined Valiant Comics in January 2019. The year before she joined, Valiant Comics shipped a total of 61,448 copies over titles in January 2018. They shipped an average of 8,778 copies per title. In January 2019, they shipped a total of 27,451 copies over 5 titles. That's an average of 5,490 copies per title. More recently, in January 2020, Valiant shipped 32,024 copies over 6 titles. That's only an average of 5.33 copies per title. I mean, seriously, it's not good. It's not good. As Del Rose noted, sales to realtors from January 2018 to January 2020 decreased by nearly 48%. The average numbers of copies shipped decreased by nearly 40%. While Valiant claims the closing of their headquarters is business as usual, one has to wonder, as Del Rose does, if it isn't another sign of Valiant's struggling publishing arm. I mean, of course it is. Think about it. Their numbers are dwindling. They keep going down and down and down. Sales are not going up. I mean, and they have gone down by 48% total within 2 years. I mean, yeah, no, they're clearly trying to, cut cost. That's what they're trying to do because they know they're collapsing also. The industry itself is collapsing because of their own stupid decision making, because of their politics, because of all the things they've pushed onto it, because of the people they've attacked, the terrible comics they've made. Valiant is just another case of that. And then when you're also hiring terrible people like Heather Antos, who just loves to attack people all the time, yeah, of course your sales are going to drop. And of course you're going to have to cut costs by dropping things that you've had this entire time because you're losing money because you're not making sales. So because you're not making those sales, yeah, you're going to have to cut on things, That's what happens with companies like this. And, considering that people can work from home now, yeah, they shut down their offices because they're not really going to need them as much, especially with the company falling apart because, comic book industry in general has been falling apart. And, with them losing money, with them going down by 48% over 2 years, that's not looking good. I mean, this could result in being the end of Valiant Comics. I mean, and when you look at it, you're just seeing more and more of these companies just fall apart. I mean, comic book industry, it's been dying and it continues to do so. And here we are yet again with another case with Valiant this time falling apart. But anyways, I'll be back again on Tuesday. Let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you were new here, and make sure you were still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels, so make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.